So just when I thought I'd be out in the vegetable garden planting carrots and potatoes, we got hit with an extraordinarily late blizzard here, central North Dakota, third week in April. Normally that's kind of March weather for us, but 18 inches to 2 feet of snow, 3-day event, high winds, 30 to 50 miles an hour. And we're looking at Holmstrup Arborvitae. The Holmstrup, one of my favorite Arborvitaes, the downside to it, you're looking at it. Heavy snow will just absolutely bend them over. Now typically if you just leave them alone, and that's the advice I'm going to give to you, just leave them alone. If you try to get out there, start breaking that snow off, you're probably going to crack one of the main branches. If you take a look at these pictures here, about 3 years ago, same event happened, but we got super warm weather, right after, and these things sprung up within 2 to 3 days. I only had to support like one branch, from the backside, tie it up with a rope. But now, looking at these, the difference on this storm, we've got at least a week of really cold weather coming, 30 degrees for highs, 20 for lows. So it's going to take a little while for this snow to melt off. And I'm sure there's a layer of ice underneath, kind of holding those branches in place. That's the other problem. If you try to get in here and you're going to shovel it out, etc., I think you're just going to make it worse. Here we've got Het's midget Arborvitae. This is a really nice smaller globe Arborvitae. Really never needs shearing. Again, one of the downfalls to Het's midget is that heavy snow. It's just going to lay it down, fold it over. Typically they will come back just like the Holmstrup Arborvitaes. They'll just spring back up. And both of those plants, well, all plants in general, they have reaction wood. And as long as it's not bent over for too long, even 2 to 3 weeks is not a problem. It will spring back from that reaction wood. This one, same thing happened with the Holmstrup several years ago, got wall up, came back on its own. I never touched it. That doesn't mean you're not going to have to go ahead and do some type of shearing or correction, but for the most part, just walk away from it, be patient, and the plant will take care of itself. Now I love Arborvitaes, and this is definitely one of the drawbacks, but I do have a couple other varieties we'll take a look at. You don't have to worry as much about that snow load laying them over. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those varieties. We're looking at De Groot Spire. I've never seen this one go down in a snow load. It does have a habit as it gets older. You can start seeing that forking. So, it could happen depending on where you've got it planted. Out in the open here, you don't get the swirling, kind of passes by. But this is a fantastic Arborvitae for our area. Holmstrup, De Groots, two of my favorites. But you know what, you're gonna find out every plant I talk about tends to be my favorite. So we're walking over to a Techni and a Technito Arborvitae next. But how cool is that? Look at those icicles. That's great stuff. We made it over to the Techni Arborvitae. This is a nice size Arborvitae, as it gets older. This one's still pretty young, about 5-6 years old. Can get about 15 to 20 feet by 8 to 10 feet wide, and I have seen ones even a little bigger than that. But one of the greatest Arborvitaes for the northern plains. You get good burn resistance, doesn't really get hit too hard with that snow load, very hardy, drought tolerant, just one of the greatest smaller evergreen type shrubs if you're looking for a screen that doesn't get up above that 40 to 50 foot height. So fantastic evergreen for the northern Great Plains. We've made it up to a couple of my favorite Arborvitaes, the Technito Arborvitae, an offshoot of the Techni. This is Thuja occidentalis Bale John, so a first edition Bailey Nursery introduction. And these were planted from a number 5 pot, quite small, probably 2 feet tall. And I was looking for this effect where they would just blend together and I wouldn't have to shear them. It created the perfect screen that I was looking for. And as far as the snow load, never had to worry about it. Quite a bit of snow has built up in these. The wind was swirling, didn't cause any branch dropping. One of the best for burn resistance. As long as you plant this thing where you don't have to shear it, you never should have to. But they do make an excellent plant to create that perfect sheared evergreen as well. Just a dynamite plant. We've got North Pole Arborvitae off to the left. That one gets really, really tall. I think it gets up around 15, 20 feet. No problems there with snow load. If you take a peek just to the right, we did a video a couple days ago, maybe about a week now, just before that blizzard hit. We pruned back and rejuvenated those summer wine 9-barks. So go ahead and take a look at that video if you like. We'll put a link under description. So we've made a loop all the way around the yard. I thought it'd be fun to finish with a weeping Colorado spruce. Yeah, this is not snow damage. It's just a unique conifer that you get a lot of these varieties out of Isley Nursery, and many, many different shapes, different characters. So that's got about a 6 to 7 foot horizontal shelf on it now. But the Colorado spruce in general, you don't ever have to typically worry about snow load causing them to bend over. So this is just something we'll talk about on another video later in the season. There's so many unique conifers, and in our area we can't grow quite as many as I'd like. A lot of them are in the zone 5 hardiness, but you know, we'll take what we can get. So hey, thanks for watching Garden Hike. I appreciate it. I'm huffing and puffing a little here, pumping through the snow, but as always, thanks again. Woo-wee! Tell you what, that is a workout.